history. And if you want to learn more, you can go to the Manitoba Historical Society, or Heritage Blogspot has stuff in the Marlborough Hotel.
Yeah, this is Heritage. Yeah, Heritage Winnipeg Blogspot. Yeah.
I'm going to read you some excerpts from an interview that Chris Rutowski had. Chris Rutowski is the renowned UFOologist in the city, and he's also with
UFOologist. I'm sorry.
Ufologist.
Ufologist.
That's what it
It
is.
sounds like
Urologist.
like you should be scoped.
Cough here, please.
Yeah, I know.
Cough.
Are you're my UFOologist?
Turn your head and cough, please. So with Chris, he did an interview because he is part of Winnipeg Paranormal. He did an interview with a lady back in 2013, and it was during the Winnipeg Paracon that was being held at the Marlborough Hotel.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how giving they are of information if you just wanted to come in and give an article, give an interview, say, hey, this is who we are, this is what we do.
Right.
We're Winnipeg's first and only paranormal podcast, Giving Up the Ghost. Tell us about your hauntings. They'd probably go, ribbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because Paracon was there, I guess they were a little more freer with their information.
Right.
Again, Chris Rutowski, they interviewed the sales manager at the time, is Grace Rentz is her name. That was back, she'd been the sales manager since 2008.
Oh, okay.
She reported that a big phenomenon that happens in the hotel, that there is something on the 9th floor. At the time, back in the day, it was a penthouse and was rented to a Miss Claire Letke. Miss Claire Letke was also the manager for the food and the beverage department. Oh. Apparently she was very cranky and very grumpy. Oh. She was also renowned to always known to be the worst boss ever.
Oh, so she's like the bad...
She had a bad reputation. She was just a shit, right? Yeah. Another thing she was known for was she was always smoking. And creepily enough, she would smoke in the Churchill room, which is the banquet room. She would smoke in the dark in the corners, and she would watch the employees.
Okay, that's just way creepy.
Yeah. And again, she was described as wearing a velour muumuu and smoking after hours. And again, she was... Oh, sorry.
I want a velour muumuu.
No, she wasn't a horrible boss. She was known as the boss from hell. I got that wrong.
Even worse.
That's what people report her as, right? But at the same time, it was also said that she was asked to leave in the 1960s. And when she was told to go, she was also told to take her white baby grand piano with her. And again, keep in mind, she rented the penthouse on the 9th floor, but she rented, it was pretty posh back then.
For a freaking cranky lunch lady.
I don't know who she knew or who she blew, but there must have been something.
That's why she was wearing a muumuu.
That's true. She's good to go, right?
She's ready.
I don't know. But anyway, it was also said that she was actually really bad at managing her business. She was a really bad manager with regards to the food and the beverage department.
She's like she was a smoking man in the corner.
Exactly.
Twilight Zone.
But apparently she also owed the hotel owner quite a bit of money. And it's said that there's a lot of very exquisite hutches that are situated throughout the hotel. And I guess that's what she gave them in exchange for the money she owed them. She left them with all these nice hutches that are positioned, these antique hutches.
Okay. Are they full of shit too?
I don't know. Is that where the money's buried? I don't know. Maybe she was stooping. Maybe she was stooping the regular clientele there. Stooping, because remember, as I'm going to tell you my own personal story, what I heard.
Oh, you heard noises that sound like stooping?
Stooping? Now this is what makes it even creepier. So this lady that interviewed with Chris, again, her name was Grace. She had said that she had had quite a few experiences. One of her first experiences with the paranormal in the hotel. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's my ride. Shit. People will often say that they hear a piano playing. Oh. Now, there is a fashion side of the hotel, and I don't know what they mean by fashion side. Maybe it's like rooms or something. And the elevators will always seem to take passengers up to the 9th floor, no matter what numbers you press. Oh. It will always go up to the 9th floor, and as soon as the door...
piano playing. She's like, come on in.
Yeah, and the piano starts playing.
Shut up.
And that will be when there is no music playing. Like sometimes, you know how over loudspeakers and elevator music, or there's nothing being piped in. So it is a well-known thing that on the 9th floor, you will hear piano music if the door is just open. Like you could press floor 3, press
and you go to frickin' the 9th floor.
You go to the
she's
9th.
Like saying, dun, dun,
yeah,
dun, bling,
that's
bling,
exactly
I
it.
would like to know what song she's playing.
And the interesting thing, yeah, no kidding. Mm-hmm. And then the interesting thing is there hasn't been a piano on the premises in over 3 decades.
Nothing at all?
Nothing, no.
Oh.
Other experiences are said to have happened in the press club, which is where the media would gather. The boys club,
Yeah.
the boys club
Big
would sit
cigars
and
hanging
smoke
out,
and
sipping on their scotch.
exactly. And that was located in the basement, and that was there since 1914. And apparently, when Sir Arthur Conan Doyle had come to town, right, as
When
he
he
did
was
with
going
his,
to the Hamilton House,
he went to
thingy?
the Hamilton House to
and
see.
then he decided to stop here and have a drink.
And no, he actually stayed at that hotel at the
Oh,
Marlborough.
Cool.
And he actually even conducted a séance in the press room in front of everybody in the basement.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that was about 1921, they said.
Wow.
So the most infamous murder was the one in 1943 with Edith Cook, the 16-year-old who was promised a life of everything with...
I know, with the asshole there.
Westgate.
Yeah.
Alfred Westgate.
Yep.
We discussed this in our Halloween episode if you want to go back and listen to that one.
He was a dick.
He was a dick. So that was the only one that we know of. And she haunts the 5th floor. She actually warns young girls that she feels are in danger. Apparently now not just the 5th floor, because when this Grace lady was talking, she had said that now the 5th floor is generally just used for storage and conference rooms and long-term monthly renters. So it's not really...
if they did that on purpose?
They did, because the original doorway where the murder took place is now sort of like...
Wall?
It's just a wall, and it's part of a larger room, part of a washroom or something of a larger room.
Oh, so they've
like of a
taken it
storage,
up.
yeah. So it's not really even anything right now.
So no one can even stay there, and unless you go to the storage room there. Basically.
Exactly.
Ah.
And then, of course, you get the odd stories of guests they're wanting to check out because a ghost is trying to crawl into bed with them, right? And they think it's Edith. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't think she was more warning.
She sat at the foot of the bed. It said sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So there's many stories of those guests. She, this Grace lady, had said she'd never really spoken with any of that, but that's what she's heard, like staff saying that people want to check out.
Yeah.
Another thing that this Grace had reported she had seen, because her job was actually to get rooms ready and set up for weddings and stuff with,
like event planner lady.
Like doing the tablecloths and making it all nice and pretty
and
for the virgin brides, and all that good stuff. But she said out of the corner of her eye one time, she actually had seen the skirting getting ripped away roughly from a banquet table and flying across. So she had seen that as she was preparing for a wedding. Oh. So that was her only real, other than the elevator, that's enough for me.
Yeah, she's like, okay, well, these people should not be married. He's an ass or something.
Exactly. A warning, a foreboding, Yeah. She'd also mentioned during her interview, she had said that there was a couple that were checking out the hotel as a wedding venue, and they'd come in the evening a couple of times, like a site visit, and the gentleman happened to be a policeman. And apparently, I guess, she was talking with the bride-to-be, and he was just kind of walking around. He had walked around to the elevator, and at that time, exactly as he stepped in front of the elevator, because he was just walking around, it opened up, and it dinged as if somebody was coming off the elevator, and a cold blast of air followed him with no person. It was empty.
Oh, really?
And it was the ninth floor. And it was the 9th floor, and he wanted to get out of there real fast.
Oh, he did, eh?
He was like,
and he's a cop.
Are we
He's
done
like,
here now? Yeah. Are we done here now? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not going to work.
And then, of course, I've heard these stories before. A ghost wearing an old-fashioned maid's outfit. She'd also been seen on the main floor in the bathrooms. And apparently, once you make eye contact with her, she either vanishes or people just see her walking into walls. A la Harry Potter.
Yeah.
9 and 3/4.
We're here.
So that was from the interview with Chris Rutowski. Now, when I went on my interview, I'm just going to quickly tell you this story.
Yeah. I was waiting to go to the cafeteria, and I was sitting there out of my dad's wing there, whatever it was again, and I'm waiting for it. I pushed by, I'm waiting for an elevator ding, and it's like, ding, and it didn't tell me if it was going up or down, and a doctor walked by at the same time. I'm like, where's it going? He looked at me, he goes, we don't know. I'm like, fuck off, don't say that.
HSC?
Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I won't get on that elevator then. I'll go on a different one just because you said that. Seriously.
The doctor said, we don't know.
The doctor says, I said, I don't know where it's going. And he looked at me honest without even cracking a smile. We don't know.
See, and that's why we want to get more healthcare professionals in on this, because we want to hear more stories of this.
I know,
just like Robin,
though, isn't it?
That is creepy.
I know.
Just like Robin, but for them, it's like every day. It's like every day. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like that's how it goes down.
No. Yeah, that creeped me out. I'm like, okay, we'll just wait for the other one with the arrows to come on over here. Bing,
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you don't want to get in an elevator with no up or down.
No, exactly.
Shit.
How far down is it going to go?
And then you get in the elevator and all of a sudden the button lights up on its own. Could you imagine that?
Oh, shit that. No. Oh, I'm good. No,
we have bad elevators in our building where I work, so
yeah.
I think that building's haunted. It was built in 1943.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's the Stanley H. Knowles building downtown.
Oh,
yeah. Like, I've seen papers just fly off the wall for no reason. I don't share that with a lot of my coworkers because I want them to shit their pants. because they're already coming to
Now
me
they're
and tell
gonna be
me.
listening to you and be going,
Nobody
"Damn it,
listens.
Jasmine, where is that?"
Nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to. No, I'm just kidding. But the coworkers, like, because I've had them come up and tell me stuff, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they'll pull me aside now because
Yeah.
we got the podcast
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And they'll tell me shit, right?
Like, hey, just listen. You
Yeah.
gotta hear this.
Yeah. All right. So when I went on my tour of the Marlborough Hotel back in 2002, and it was a bus tour called Ghost to Ghost, and I can't remember the gentleman's name. And like I said, if anybody knows or remembers of this, I would like
Bill.
to name
I don't know why that popped in my head, but
Bill Schmidt.
I don't know why Bill popped in my head. Seriously, I'm like, it's Bill.
It's Bill from down the street.
Yeah.
You know Bill.
Yeah.
Anyway, he took us on a bus tour all around, kind of gave us the rundown of the tunnels by the forks and stuff, which is another ramble sode I'd like to discuss, or, because they're all haunted, they're all connected, right?
Yeah,
I'd like to do one on all the tunnels downtown. They're all connected at one time or another, right?
Did we ever get that?
We never got that substantiated because there was somebody on a forum on one of these places that said that MTS had bought all the tunnels, eh?
I would like to see, like,
They bought like 87 of the tunnels, like for their fiber cables and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then they
ran all
barricaded
that
the
shit on
rest.
there.
Yeah, but I'd like to know more.
Well, how's your friend? I can ask him.
Yeah, maybe. But this gentleman, we started at the Forks. We went there. We went Lower Fort Garry, took some pictures, caught some orbs. We went to and sat in front of the jail. It was more like it wasn't like a hands-on ghost tour. We couldn't go onto properties or anything.
Oh, okay.
But our last stop was the Marlborough Hotel, and we sat in the Churchill Ballroom, and it was kind of dark and it was kind of quiet. And then he told us some
Did you see someone
stories.
in the corner smoking?
No, but
And
he did mention that woman.
Oh, he did
right?
mention
He
the
did mention
woman?
about
Okay.
that one. And he was saying some of these really, really cool stories. Now, I tried to go on the internet earlier to substantiate a lot of these things, but a lot of things either were never there or purposely not there.
Yeah.
It's one of these little unknown facts that apparently the Marlborough Hotel was actually the home to a family in the city that had organized crime ties in the city. They ran...
Sicily?
They didn't say that. But see, those people were out of the game by then, though.
Were they?
Yeah, because remember they kind of went bankrupt, but they still had ties somehow.
Have a kiss on the forehead and you're good.
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
I
I'm
know,
just
but
saying.
You never know, though, right?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So there was a crime family, a big family, organized crime in the city, but at the time that was the prohibition thing, right?
Oh.
So they're running out booze out of the basement.
Oh.
You see? So that's the whole idea. But they didn't live there per se, but they gathered there a lot. Like that was like their home base.
Oh, yes. The gathering
was their home
spot,
base,
right? It's
right.
the meeting area, right?
He didn't mention any last names, but he said this family was basically, that was their home base for a good 20 or 30 years.
Of doing their...
A long time.
Doing their
Yeah.
stuff.
He was also saying that there was a secret double basement that they didn't know about until they renovated at some point.
God, and was one of them like a dungeon down there or something?
And supposedly a medium psychic or somebody had told them that apparently this family that kind of controlled, they had found out, or I'm not sure if it was through the medium that they had brought in that time, because they would do dinner ghost tours there with mediums at the hotel. And there was actually a double, I don't know if it was a spirit that came to her or how they found out, but this double basement that they had found that they didn't know had existed there before.
Like, you mean it was separated, or was there a faux?
It was even lower. It was a full basement.
It was like a root cellar under a regular freaking basement.
Yes.
So a really creepy, shitty ass cellar then.
So it was supposedly, that's where that they would take bodies out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like if a meeting went bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Bye-bye.
That's what happened there.
Yeah.
The other thing the gentleman was saying was he was talking about the printers that would be on the 10th floor, and the press club was in the basement. So now you're reading things and I'm understanding it differently, but I'm pretty sure he said at one time one of the newspapers, not necessarily the Free Press, but one of the newspapers actually ran their printing presses off the 10th floor or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And for the longest time, these printing presses, after they moved and went to a different location, the floor would be boarded up. And he was saying that staff that would regularly come to this boarded up floor, every now and then they would put their ear up to the door and they heard like the printing presses were still there, but it was empty. Like everything was sealed up.
So how many floors has this place got right now, currently?
10.
10 only.
I believe.
And how many because
it
you
started with 3, then they added 3 or 4, and then they added another 3.
I'm just wondering how, between the 9th and 10th, when the press club was downstairs, if it would have coincided that they would have put it up there. It was like, hey, we need more room.
But you could see,
let's put a printing thing up there.
You could see
right?
a smaller, but you could almost see a smaller printing company being up there.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You know, for space and
that's right, yeah. But I'm
and
thinking
value.
like when they were like starting to do their renos and like, hey, we'll chip in for this, right, or whatever.
I couldn't find anything to substantiate any of that, though,
Nothing,
unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure to rights, this is what the guy was saying.
yeah.
You could hear the printing machines and that.
Yeah.
Now, another interesting thing is because the building, the hotel was so posh in the day.